Hi guys, welcome back to the DrCliffAuD vlog. This is vlog number 22, and I have some great news right off the bat. On my bike ride this morning, I did not run into an SUV, so I'm starting off the day the right way. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, make sure that you go check out last week's vlog, vlog number 21. For today's vlog, I actually alluded to it a little bit in last week's vlog. I'm going to talk a little bit about a post that I saw on social media that I was tagged in. So there's a holding company for one of the hearing aid manufacturers that is out there, and they posted my video and tagged me on a post talking about FX322. And if you're unaware of what FX322 is, I do have a video on this on my YouTube channel, so make sure that you check it out. But the basic gist of it is that there's a company out there called Frequency Therapeutics that is developing a drug that is designed to restore natural hearing ability by regenerating hair cells. And hair cells are the primary reason why individuals suffer from hearing loss. So if you get older, if you have a noise-induced hearing loss, whatever, it's usually the outer hair cells that are damaged inside of your hearing organ. And if you could regenerate those hair cells, it would restore your hearing ability. But the reason that I wanted to record a video on this today, and the whole purpose of this, is because the whole point of their post was, hey, there's companies out here doing things like this. How do we mitigate this disruption? And this is something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about disruption in the hearing industry. You have over-the-counter hearing aids that are going to be coming out here soon. You already have online available devices that are out there. You have potential drugs that are going to reverse hearing loss or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, why would we want to mitigate the potential to cure hearing loss? I think we're coming at this from the wrong direction. And so if they wanted to know my opinion, in fact, my response to them was, why would you want to mitigate disruption if that disruption is going to be something that helps people hear better? It really makes no sense to me. However, when you start peeling back the layers, it really does make sense. I mean, you have companies out there that they don't want to lose market share. I mean, they have a good thing going. They're profitable. They're making money. They have a lot of employees that they're taking care of. So they're worried about them to a degree, and I can get that as a business owner. But to potentially make an attempt to mitigate disruption when this disruption is designed to improve the way people can hear and potentially remove hearing devices out of the equation, why wouldn't we want that in general? One of the main reasons I got into this industry, got into this field of audiology, was because I truly want people to be able to hear better. And I mean, I would love it for myself too. I mean, the hearing loss that I have in my right ear, I would love if that hearing loss was not there. If I could take a drug, have a drug injected through my eardrum and absorbed into my hearing organ, my cochlea, and restore the hair cells that are damaged, I think that would be fantastic. And I think it's going to happen someday. And so, to answer really the question of what can we do to mitigate it, it isn't that we're trying to prevent, disruption from happening. It is, what are we doing to make sure that we're still relevant if we need to still be relevant? So I'm a huge believer in this idea that if you have the ability to provide value to someone, then what you're doing is needed. As soon as that potential of providing value goes away, then you don't deserve to exist anymore. There's industries throughout human history that had a good thing going, and they tried to prevent, technological innovation. Let's just go back to like the horse-drawn buggy. And then when the Model T was developed, I'm sure that all of the horse-drawn buggy people were anti-Model T. It's dangerous, it's not good for anybody. We have a system built out here to where, we can transport people from place to place. And what happens? We'll lose all of our jobs if the Model T comes in and people can start transporting themselves. And it seems ridiculous right now in society when we see cars everywhere, but it's no different here. It's just like if a company were to try to prevent innovation and something that would improve people's lives, and it just doesn't make sense. And so in the hearing industry, and in fact, one of the reasons I make a lot of these videos is that I like to provide value in what I do. And so whenever that day comes that my services are no longer needed by anybody because, hearing loss doesn't exist anymore, then why should I deserve to have a job as an audiologist? It makes no sense. And so what would I do? Well, I would probably try to find another profession where I could make a difference, where I could have a positive change or a positive impact on people's lives. And, I'd probably still create, content around it to make sure that people are fully informed of what their options are and so forth. So, when it comes down to it, over-the-counter hearing aids, I happen to be a fan of them because I think it's going to create additional awareness around treating hearing loss. But if over-the-counter hearing aids put me out of business, then I deserve to go out of business. Because if people can get from OTC hearing aids what they can get from me, then they shouldn't have to come to me. Okay, it's the same thing with this FX322. If FX322 actually works and it reverses hearing loss by regrowing hair cells and I am no longer needed, then so be it. Then I don't deserve to have a job. And while that sucks, and I mean, I love audiology. I think that it is the greatest profession, for me anyway, in the world. And to think that potentially I would have to do something else someday doesn't sit well. But what am I going to do? Am I going to cry and complain about it? Or am I going to go find something else that I can do to also have a great impact? And, I feel for all the other audiologists in the world, out there that feel the same way that I do about this profession. But really at the end of the day, if you can't provide any additional value to someone, you don't deserve to have a profession, to have that profession still exist. And, there are a lot of different professions that used to exist that don't exist anymore or only exist as a nostalgic aspect of that once, traditional profession. So, I think that the things that we're seeing is exciting. I think that we're still a long ways away from having, cures for hearing loss or having there be no role for audiologists in the world. Even if FX322 works, which as of right now, we're still in clinical trials. I mean, this could totally not work. There has been some promise to this drug, but it doesn't mean that it's actually going to work. But, I think that most likely I would find a way to stay inside of this field to some degree and just work on that side of it, not the hearing device side anymore. I'm not particularly partial to working with the hearing devices. It is fun to some degree, but there's a lot of other fun stuff that's out there that I could be learning about and talking about and practicing. So, whatever happens, happens. And I think that we just need to figure out where we fit into that equation and where I fit into that equation. But, someday will come along, whether it is when I retire or if there's some kind of technological innovation or drug that's developed that mitigates the need for me, I'll find something else to do. But I won't be doing audiology forever. I know that. And, but for right now, I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I'm going to keep making video content and trying to not mitigate disruption. So guys, that is it for this week's vlog. If you liked it, make sure that you check out my other vlogs. And as always, I'll see you next week.